What if today isn't just another Sunday? What if it's the moment heaven has been preparing for you all along? What if everything you've walked through, every delay, every silent prayer, every tear no one saw, has been leading to this very day, not just as a random point on the calendar, but as a divine appointment written into your life before you even knew what to hope for? What if this isn't just another quiet weekend morning, but the moment where the spiritual shift you've been sensing finally meets the physical world around you? What if you're not just here by chance, but by perfect, sacred alignment? You didn't land on this message accidentally. You weren't pulled into this moment by coincidence. You've been drawn into it by design. This Sunday isn't ordinary. It's not just a date. It's a doorway, a spiritual threshold, a turning point that heaven has been shaping behind the scenes while you've been walking forward in faith, sometimes stumbling, sometimes unsure, but always moving. And now, all of it is starting to make sense. You've been in a season that's felt blurry and heavy. You've had days when you questioned the path, when the silence was loud, when it felt like the answers weren't coming. But God was working through all of it. The closed doors, the quiet nights, the things that didn't go your way. None of it was a punishment. It was preparation. Not for something ordinary, but for something deeply holy. For this moment, for this shift. There's something sacred in the air today. You may not see it yet with your eyes, but your spirit feels it. Something inside you knows. This Sunday is different. It carries a weight, a quiet power, a sense that heaven is closer than usual. You're not imagining that feeling. You're sensing alignment. God is whispering, calling, gently nudging your spirit, saying, "Get ready. I'm about to do a new thing." And even if nothing looks different around you, everything is changing within you. This isn't just emotional hype. This is a spiritual awakening, a moment when your past no longer defines you and your waiting is no longer wasted. It's the point where the pain starts to make sense, where the delay reveals its purpose, where the answers begin to echo back from the prayers you whispered in the dark. You're not behind. You haven't missed your moment. In fact, you're right on time for the plan heaven wrote for you before you were even born. You may feel like you've been stuck, but something has been growing deep beneath the surface. Not just answers, not just blessings, but roots, strength, wisdom, maturity. A stronger, clearer version of you has been taking shape in the silence. And now, heaven says it's time. Time to bloom. Time to rise. Time to walk into what you were always meant for. You are not being called to strive harder, to do more, to force anything. You are being called to surrender, to lean in, to finally trust that what you've been waiting for is already starting to reach for you. You don't have to chase it. You just have to align with it, because what's meant for you will never miss you, not when you're walking with heaven. This Sunday isn't just about the day. It's about what the day represents. The moment where your obedience meets opportunity, where your spiritual posture pulls on divine timing, where God confirms in real life what He has been whispering to you in your spirit for months, maybe even years. The doors that didn't open, that was divine protection. The detours, they were sacred redirections. Every delay wasn't denial. It was development. This Sunday, you may not see lightning or hear thunder, but you'll feel a quiet knowing. A deep peace that doesn't make sense. A strange confidence rising in your chest. Don't dismiss it. That's the shift. That's the atmosphere changing because you've changed. What once resisted you will now recognize you, because you're no longer trying to earn what's already yours. You're finally ready to receive it. So breathe. Let your heart soften. Let the weight fall off your shoulders. What if this is the day your whole life starts to look different? Not because everything around you changed, but because you finally aligned with what was always meant for you. What if this Sunday is not just another day you wake up, but the day your destiny wakes up with you? Because it is. It's that day, and you are ready. Maybe you felt something you couldn't name for a long time now. A quiet pull inside your spirit. A strange stillness in the middle of your busy days. Like something sacred was following you, getting closer, even when nothing around you seemed to change. You didn't have the words for it, but deep down, you knew. Something real was happening beneath the surface. Something holy was calling you forward. And you were right. What you've been sensing wasn't just a feeling. It was the presence of God slowly drawing you into your appointed moment. This moment was never random. It's been moving toward you the whole time, just like you've been walking toward it. And now it's finally here. You didn't get here by chance. This isn't an accident. It's alignment. And alignment is proof that God has had his hands on your life all along. Every part of your journey has been touched by his design. He wastes nothing. Not your delays, not your pain, not your confusion. Every closed door had a reason. Every detour redirected you. Every silence stretched your faith. Every moment that felt like nothing was happening was actually God quietly arranging everything. You may not have seen it before, but you will now, because this moment didn't just arrive, it was prepared for you, and you were prepared for it. You're not in the same season you used to be. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed constant confirmation and external approval. You've matured. You're no longer just asking for signs. Now, you're receiving instructions. And those instructions may not always come with thunder and lightning. Sometimes they'll arrive in silence. Sometimes in sudden peace. Sometimes through a dream, a deep knowing, or a quiet moment that makes everything clear. God will speak through the softness, and you'll know it's him. Not because someone else said so, but because it will feel like a truth you already carried inside you all along. You've already been through so much. You passed the test. The trial wasn't sent to destroy you. It was sent to develop you. It didn't come to break you. It came to build something unshakable in you. You now have the kind of faith that doesn't wait for proof to believe. The kind of faith that walks forward in the dark, trusting that the light will come. That faith is what moved heaven. That faith is what brought miracles into motion. And now, because you refused to give up, because you kept going when everything in you wanted to quit, heaven is responding. The spiritual realm is leaning toward you. Things are shifting. Doors are opening. Answers are arriving. And it's not because you forced anything. It's because you aligned with the timing of God. This Sunday, something sacred will quietly meet you. Not with fireworks or a loud celebration, but in small, simple ways that carry deep meaning. You'll feel it in a message that reaches your heart at the perfect time, in a compliment that touches something inside you, in a moment of stillness that feels too full of peace to ignore. These moments might seem ordinary to the people around you, but to your spirit, they'll feel like home. You'll recognize them because you've been prepared to see them. You've been trained in the quiet places to sense what others miss. Your eyes have changed. Your heart has changed. You're not the same. God often hides glory in the simple. He hides treasures in the things others overlook, not to keep them from you, but to give them to you when you're finally ready to recognize them. This is one of those times. This Sunday will feel like something in you wakes up, like something long asleep suddenly receives permission to breathe again. You won't need anyone to confirm what's happening. You'll feel it deep inside your soul. You'll just know. You are not entering into a season of pressure. You are stepping into a season of purpose. You are not walking into chaos. You are being pulled into clarity. What's ahead of you won't drain you. It will complete you. You've been trusted with more than just dreams. You've been trusted with real impact. You've been given a weight that your spirit is now strong enough to carry. And the fog that surrounded you for so long is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The next step is revealing itself. Maybe not the full picture, but just enough to move forward with courage. That's all faith ever needs. Not the entire path, just one clear step. Don't underestimate this moment. It might feel quiet on the outside, but it is powerful in the spirit. It may not look dramatic to others, but something real is shifting within you. And that's how destiny often arrives, wrapped in silence, clothed in peace, recognized only by the heart that's been prepared. This Sunday will feel like you're finally able to read the next chapter of your life because you've become the person who's ready to understand it. The waiting wasn't punishment. It was preparation. The silence wasn't neglect. It was protection. You've grown. You've changed. And now everything is beginning to move. You're not here to prove yourself. You're not here to beg for your place. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need to shrink to make others comfortable. You don't need to perform to be seen. You've aligned with a higher vibration. And now that vibration is calling your future into your present. The doors that open now are not a result of striving. They're a result of surrender. What is meant for you is finding you now because you've become the person it belongs to. God has shaped your heart to match the blessing. The pressure didn't ruin you. It revealed you. The pain didn't stop your progress. It deepened your purpose. Every time you felt forgotten, you are actually being hidden for protection. You are not a victim of your story. You are a vessel of divine timing. You are not a survivor. You are a steward of your assignment. This Sunday marks the beginning of something new. You're no longer shrinking into places that don't fit. You're no longer asking how to stay small to be accepted. You are expanding. And everything that cannot stretch with you will naturally fall away. That isn't failure. It's alignment. Let it fall away. You're not being abandoned. You're being escorted into something better. And better requires space. Make room for it. In your thoughts, in your spirit, in your routine. Protect that space like sacred ground. Because it is. The instructions God is giving you now need silence to land. The peace that's arriving needs stillness to stay. This Sunday isn't just a new day on the calendar. It's a spiritual shift. You'll feel a new kind of clarity. You'll finally know what you need to release. You'll also know what you're ready to run toward. Panic will turn into peace. Confusion will dissolve into confidence. What once seemed unreachable will begin to approach you without resistance, because you're no longer moving from fear. You're moving from faith. You're not stepping into someone else's calling. You're stepping into your own. You're not pretending anymore. You're remembering. You're remembering who you were before the world told you to be smaller, quieter, safer. You've always had the crown. You've always been chosen. You just had to grow into the posture required to wear it. Your hard journey wasn't punishment. It was positioning. You had to experience rejection so you'd recognize real alignment. You had to taste delay so you'd appreciate the speed of divine timing. You had to walk alone so you'd know that God's presence doesn't always come through people. It often comes through purpose. Now you're arriving at the place where the unseen becomes visible, where the silence finally starts to speak, where the closed doors begin to open, not because you pushed, but because you're ready. You stayed faithful. You kept believing. You kept showing up, even when there was no evidence. And now heaven is moving on your behalf. This isn't just the beginning of a new week. It's the unveiling of everything you've been carrying in silence. The dreams you had no words for. The prayers you whispered through tears. The growth that happened quietly while no one was watching. This is the part of your life where your private strength becomes visible. Not for applause, but for assignment. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened layer by layer, through losses that hurt deeply, through lessons that bent you but didn't break you, through quiet seasons that required faith without proof. But you didn't give up, and now the fruit of your becoming is about to be seen. This Sunday isn't just about something coming to you. It's about you stepping into something that has always belonged to you. You're no longer asking from lack. You're receiving from alignment. You're not trying to be noticed. You are walking in authority. You've been trusted, and now you're ready to live like someone God trusts. Pour out love where it's easy to stay quiet. Forgive even where the pain feels justified. Be generous with kindness. Be a carrier of grace. Don't try to force what doesn't flow. Let people fall away if they no longer fit the frequency of where God is taking you. He is pruning your circle for your protection. He is preparing you for divine relationships. People are coming. People who carry keys to doors you haven't even dreamed of yet. You'll start seeing the signs. Repeating numbers, familiar songs, perfect timing, dreams that feel sacred, moments of peace that stop you in your tracks. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. This isn't just a good moment. It's a God moment. A moment that will not only bless your life, it will change the direction of it. This Sunday is not about hype. It's about heaven. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up. You're not waiting for something to prove you're worthy. You're realizing you already are. So when the moment comes, and it will, say yes. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, say yes. Not from fear, but from faith. You've come too far to hesitate now. Step forward. Move with boldness. Receive what is already yours. Let your life become the evidence that divine timing is real, that quiet alignment is more powerful than loud striving, that grace doesn't just visit you, it transforms everything connected to you. You are already chosen, already appointed, already prepared. You are ready. And this Sunday, the shift won't just happen around you, it will begin inside you. Let it.
What if I told you that the most powerful man in the room isn't the loudest, the funniest, or the one trying the hardest to be seen, but the one who simply stands there, saying nothing, and somehow draws everyone in without trying. You were never the kind of man who needed attention to feel valuable. You never walked into a room hoping people would look at you. You didn't try to outshine anyone. That was never in your heart. You were the quiet one, the one who observed, the one who stayed still and listened while others talked over each other. You watched as the loud ones soaked up attention. You watched as the charming ones made everyone laugh. You stood back, not because you were weak, but because you were becoming. You were watching, learning, growing something deeper inside you, something that didn't need validation to be real. Back then, you didn't fully know your power, but now you do. Now, without asking for it, you are the spotlight. You don't stand in it, you radiate it. And not because you forced your way into it, not because you made noise, not because you demanded attention, but because your energy has become so grounded, so steady, so calm, that it moves through every room you walk into like gravity. You no longer chase anyone. You don't try to prove your worth. You don't talk over people. You don't posture or exaggerate. You've simply become a man whose presence cannot be ignored. And now, people feel it. Everyone feels it. Your friends feel it. Especially the men who used to outshine you. The ones who used to be the center of attention. The ones who were louder, funnier, bolder. They don't understand how you do it. They don't understand how you stand still and still get noticed. How you say little, yet women hear you more clearly than anyone else. They don't understand how you seem to do nothing, and still, everyone leans toward you. It bothers them, though they won't say it, because they feel the shift. They feel your glow, and they don't know what to do with it. You used to be like them. You played the same game. You used to try to impress, to entertain, to talk more, to do more, but not anymore. Now, you're just existing, breathing, relaxed. And somehow, that's when everything started changing. Because you're not chasing anything now, and still things come to you, especially women. They feel it first. They don't know how or why, but they do. You don't have to reach for them anymore. They're reaching for you. They notice you the moment you enter the room, before you've said a word. They feel your calm, your stillness, your depth. You're not loud, you're not flashy, but they feel safer around you than around anyone else. Your silence says more than most men's speeches. Your calmness draws them in deeper than any smooth line ever could. You're not performing. You're just present. And your male friends, they see this, and it shakes them, because they don't know how to compete with something they can't name. They used to be admired. They used to get the laughs, the attention, the flirty glances. But now, it's different. She's looking at you. Not because you tried, but because you became a man who no longer leaks energy. You hold it. You contain it. You've mastered it. And people feel it. They try to ignore it, but they can't, because they see how the room bends around you. They see how people pay attention when you're not even trying. They see how she smiles at you, not with flirtation, but with curiosity, with respect, with something deeper. They hear how she speaks to you, how she listens, how she lingers longer. They pretend not to notice, but they do. They feel invisible next to you now. Not because you made them that way, but because you've stopped dimming your light to keep them comfortable. They used to joke with you differently. Now their jokes sound sharp. Their compliments feel forced. Their laughter doesn't carry the same warmth. There's tension in their tone now. Because while they're still performing, still trying, still seeking, you've stopped playing altogether. And somehow, you're still winning. You don't perform for rooms anymore. You don't need to be louder to be heard. You don't need to be funnier to be liked. You don't need to move faster to be noticed. You've become a man who is simply present, whole, anchored. And that presence alone pulls everything toward you. You've become the kind of man whose silence carries more power than others shouting. The kind of man whose stillness makes people lean in. The kind of man whose energy speaks before his mouth does. And they don't know how to handle that. Because their whole identity is still built on being impressive. And you've become unforgettable without trying. They're still chasing validation, still counting numbers, still wearing masks, still talking just to be heard. But you're not chasing anyone anymore. You're choosing peace. You're choosing stillness. You're choosing your own presence. And she feels that. She sees it. She trusts it. She leans into it without even realizing why. Your difference doesn't threaten them because you've taken something from them. It threatens them because you've shown them what they've avoided building within themselves. Real power, real depth, real peace. You've become the mirror that reflects what they've been pretending to be. They say it's your looks, your clothes, your luck. But it's not. It's what you carry now. It's how you hold yourself. It's the way your energy doesn't spill out, looking for approval. It's the quiet certainty in you that needs no spotlight, because it is the light. You're not trying to be chosen anymore. You've become the place where someone feels chosen by just standing next to you. That's what she feels. That's what they feel. That's what they all feel. You're not the same. You've outgrown the game. You've remembered who you are. And you've returned to that place fully. Now you stand there, not proving, not performing, just being. And in that being, everything changes. And they'll keep pretending it doesn't matter. They'll keep laughing, keep teasing, keep calling it luck. But you know the truth. You didn't win because you played the game better. You won because you stopped playing it altogether. You became real, and realness can't be copied. It can't be imitated. It can't be borrowed. It must be built from within. And that's what they feel when you walk in. They feel the presence of a man who doesn't need to say a word to be felt. They feel the shift in the room, even if they can't name it. They feel their strategies falling apart in the face of your calm. They feel the tension in their own performance when standing next to your truth. They feel it, and that feeling lingers. Because you didn't steal attention. You just stopped hiding. And now, your light is too real to ignore. She looked at you first, not because you called her, not because she was being polite, and not because of chance. She looked because something in her was pulled toward you. Her eyes moved before her mind could catch up. Her instinct recognized something in you, calm, still, grounded. And even though the others laughed it off, or acted like they didn't notice. They did. Every man in the room felt it. Because deep down, we always know who gets the first look. We feel it when the energy shifts. We see who the room starts to move around. It wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was silent, but powerful. And when energy moves without being forced, everyone notices, even if they pretend not to. You didn't do anything to stand out. You didn't smile first. You didn't try to get her attention. You didn't play the game. You just stayed still. And yet, she found you. She felt your presence because it wasn't seeking, it was settled. You weren't trying to attract. You were already aligned. And that stillness made her feel safe. Something ancient inside her remembered that desire doesn't have to chase to be strong. It can simply exist, and she can respond to it. That's what made her eyes land on you. And when she did, everyone saw the difference. She wasn't scanning the room. She was responding to something quiet and steady. They teased you afterward, asked what your secret was, but they already knew. They felt it the moment she looked at you. You've tapped into something they've avoided. The truth that a man's presence speaks louder than performance. You're not loud, but you're unforgettable. You don't chase, but you're chosen. And that unsettles them, because it challenges everything they thought they knew about attention, women, and being a man. There was a time when your bond with them felt unshakable, when their laughter lifted you, when their advice helped you. You were brothers, equals, but you grew, not away from them, but deeper into yourself. While they got louder, you got quieter. While they reached for attention, you rooted into self-awareness. And now, something has shifted. Their jokes hit different. Their smiles feel tight. Their support comes with a sting because they feel the change, even if they can't explain it. They feel the calm in you, and it makes them uncomfortable. They still want you around, but only the version of you that doesn't outshine them. The version that still seeks advice, still needs approval. But you don't. You've stopped trying to impress. You're not performing anymore. And because of that, you've become the man in the room whose presence changes everything. She feels it too. She doesn't laugh as hard at their jokes. She doesn't lean toward their words. Her body leans toward yours. Not because you're trying, but because you're not. And that bothers them. Not because they hate you, but because they know. They know they're still chasing what you've already become. You didn't outcompete them. You simply stopped playing the game. And now you're winning without trying. You've become a mirror. When they look at you now, they don't just see a friend. They see a reminder of what they haven't done, of what they're still afraid to become. And mirrors don't lie. They don't comfort. They just show. And what your presence shows is this. When a man stops pretending, when he stops chasing, and starts listening to himself, he becomes something rare, unshakable, grounded, chosen. They try to explain away your calm. Call it luck. Say it's just timing. But deep down, they feel it. They sense that this didn't just happen to you. You became it. You built it in silence. In moments no one saw. You earned it by letting go of everything fake. You don't need their maps anymore. You found your own compass. And now, their advice feels different. Not because you're suspicious, but because you're clear. You don't absorb what isn't yours. You hear the fear behind their words, the discomfort in their jokes, the hesitation in their praise. You see how she keeps looking toward you, how her body responds to your presence before your words. And you feel the pause in their compliments, the little warnings they try to slip in, telling you not to get ahead of yourself, telling you to be careful. But what they're really saying is, don't grow beyond who I'm comfortable with, because if you do, they'll be forced to see what they've avoided in themselves. They don't fear losing you. They fear being left behind by the version of you that no longer needs them, the version that isn't asking to be included. You're not rude. You're not distant. You're just different now. You've outgrown the need for validation. You belong to yourself. And in that belonging, everything begins to align. The timing, the opportunities, the moments. What once took forever now arrives suddenly. What once felt impossible now comes with ease. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned, because you're not forcing anything. You're moving with the current instead of against it. This is divine timing, and it doesn't come with noise. It comes with rhythm. She sees it. They feel it. And though they may pretend not to, they know. They know the old version of you is gone. And what stands in front of them now is a man who has nothing left to prove. A man who doesn't perform to be seen. A man who is already seen because he sees himself. You are no longer chasing attention. You've become it. You are no longer begging for belonging. You belong to yourself. And in a world full of noise, of games, of pretending, you've become the rarest thing. A man who is true. A man who is calm. A man who is present. And that kind of man is unforgettable. That kind of man doesn't just walk into rooms. He shifts them. Without trying. Without needing to. Just by being. And they know it. And she knows it. And you don't have to say a word.
Have you ever met someone who didn't even have to speak to change the energy in the room? Someone who walked in quietly, but everything just felt different? You couldn't explain it, but something about their presence made you pause, made you feel, made your soul stir without warning. They didn't ask for attention. They didn't try to impress. But still, you couldn't look away. You couldn't ignore the way the air felt heavier, almost sacred, when they were around. Their presence was calm but powerful, still but full of fire, gentle but impossible to forget. They weren't loud. They didn't try to prove anything. But somehow, just by being there, they made people feel exposed. They didn't say much, but you could feel the truth on them, like their soul carried something ancient, something pure, something untouchable. These people aren't like the rest of the world. Their story is different. Their path is different. They've been through more than most people could handle. Their eyes carry pain that has shaped them, loss that has stretched them, and strength that has been carved out of fire. They don't complain. They don't show off. But the silence around them is filled with weight, a sacred kind of weight. Their life hasn't been easy, but somehow they keep rising. Somehow they keep walking forward when everything tries to pull them down. And they carry something inside them that this world didn't give them, and this world can't take away. These are the chosen ones. And here's the truth. No human, no group, No enemy has power over them. Only God does. That's not just a beautiful phrase or a spiritual idea to make you feel good. It's a truth that is older than time. It's something ancient souls have always known. Something passed down through the Spirit, not through words. Chosen ones are not moved by the same things as others. They don't belong to the systems of this world. They don't operate by the same rules. Their strength doesn't come from followers, money, titles, or image. Their strength comes from what's inside of them, something heaven placed there before they were even born. They walk through this world quietly, but they are not ordinary. They are guarded. They are watched over. There are unseen forces surrounding them at all times, even when they feel alone. And they often do feel alone, because most people don't understand them. Most people feel unsettled around them and don't know why. Most people sense something different, something pure, something powerful. But instead of honoring it, they back away from it. They whisper about it. They envy it, or they try to destroy it. Not because the chosen one has done anything wrong, but because the light they carry makes people face things they don't want to see. There is something deep inside a chosen one that cannot be faked. It cannot be copied. It cannot be imitated or borrowed. It is not learned. It is something that was placed inside of them. It's why they always felt different. It's why they never fit in, even when they tried. It's why they've been through so many battles in silence, with no one truly understanding what they were carrying or what they were fighting through. Their battles weren't just physical. They were spiritual, emotional, and visible. And every time someone thought they had destroyed them, God stepped in. Every time someone tried to silence them, the silence only made them stronger. Every time life tried to take their voice, it gave their soul more power. They don't seek revenge. They don't need applause. They don't chase validation. They don't need to prove they're chosen. They simply are. And deep down, the world knows it. Even the ones who reject them know it. Even the ones who try to bring them down secretly watch them, study them, try to copy them, try to understand them. But they never truly can, because the spirit of a chosen one doesn't come from the outside. It comes from God, and only those who are marked by Him carry this kind of light. If you're still reading this, maybe you've met someone like this. Or maybe you are someone like this. Maybe you've always felt too deep, too intense, too quiet, too different. Maybe people have told you you're too much, or too sensitive, or too emotional, or too serious. Maybe people have left you, judged you, misunderstood you, because they didn't know how to handle your light. Maybe you've spent years wondering why you feel things so deeply, why you seem to carry pain that doesn't make sense, or why you know things you were never taught. Maybe you've walked through dark seasons, silent battles, secret heartbreaks, and still found yourself waking up each day with a heart that refuses to give up. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's not coincidence. That's calling. And if this message found you now, it's not an accident. You were meant to hear this. Your soul was ready for this truth. This is your confirmation. This is the moment your spirit has been waiting for. You don't need anyone else to validate it. You've known deep down for a long time. And now, it's time to remember. Type 111 in the comments if you feel this in your bones. not just in your mind, but in your spirit. That number is a sign, a symbol, a sacred message that you are not alone, and you are in alignment with something greater, something holy. And when you write it, you are doing more than leaving a number. You are opening your soul to divine timing, divine truth, and divine protection. And if you've been feeling tired lately, if you felt the weight of the world pressing down on you, if people have been walking away, if doors have been closing, if you felt like giving up, hold on. Don't let go now. You are closer to your breakthrough than you know. Right before a chosen one rises to the next level, life often falls apart. Things go wrong. People betray them. Opportunities disappear. Their faith gets pushed to the edge. That's not because you're cursed. It's because you're called. And darkness always attacks right before the light breaks through. The enemy senses when a chosen one is about to rise, and it does everything it can to stop them. But what the enemy never understands is that chosen ones are built in the fire. They are trained in pain. They are molded in the wilderness. They don't just survive storms. They become stronger because of them. Every betrayal becomes a lesson. Every heartbreak becomes fuel. Every fall becomes a rise. And just when it seems like they are finished, they get back up. And when they rise, they are even stronger than before. Chosen ones don't beg for loyalty. They don't chase attention. And yet, they inspire deep loyalty in others. People are drawn to them, even if they don't know why. Their energy speaks louder than words. Their presence makes people feel safe, makes people feel seen. The real ones recognize them instantly. The ones who are meant for them feel it in their bones. It's not about charm. It's about spirit. It's about truth. The ones who can't handle that truth fall away. The ones who are ready for it stay. And interestingly, even their enemies are obsessed. They may act like they dislike them. They may speak against them. But they watch them. They copy them. They study them. Because the chosen carry something that cannot be explained. Something that makes people curious. Something that leaves people shaken. Something that comes from God. Their lives are not easy. From childhood, they often face pain, rejection, and loss. They may lose parents, friends, homes, or their sense of safety early in life. They may be thrown into situations that seem unfair, but all of it is shaping them. All of it is preparing them. Their pain is not punishment. It's preparation. Their suffering is not a curse. It's a sacred tool. Every tear they've cried watered the roots of their strength. Every sleepless night shaped their soul. Every lonely season built their connection to something higher. They've learned to walk alone, not because they want to, but because they had to. They've learned to listen to their own spirit, because the voices of the world never understood them. They've been broken open again and again, and each time, they've come back softer in heart, but stronger in spirit. People ask how they stay so calm, how they stay kind, how they stay faithful. But what they don't see is what it took to become that way. What they don't see are the nights the chosen one cried into their pillow, the days they doubted everything, the moments they wanted to give up. What they don't see is that being chosen comes with a cost, and the cost is heavy, but the reward is deep, and the purpose is sacred. The chosen carry a light this world can't explain, a knowing that no book can teach, a fire that no storm can put out. And even when they're tired, they rise. Even when they're broken, they shine. Even when they feel alone, they are never truly alone, because heaven is watching over them, always. If you feel this in your soul, it's because this message was written for you. You are not imagining the pain you've carried. You are not crazy for feeling everything so deeply. You are not wrong for walking a path that no one else understands. You are chosen. And no matter what comes against you, no matter how hard it gets, no matter who leaves you, no matter what breaks, you will rise. Again and again, because your spirit was made for more. You don't need the world's approval. You have heaven's anointing, and no human hand can stop what God has written over your life. You are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken others. You are not weak. You are walking proof of divine strength, and your time is coming. Just hold on. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Some people may think it sounds poetic or made up, but those who are spiritually awake know the truth. Nature and animals really do respond to certain people differently. These people are chosen ones. Their presence is calm, peaceful, and full of quiet power. Animals feel it right away. Dogs stop barking and sit still. Birds come closer instead of flying away. Even wild animals pause and look, not with fear, but with trust. There's something ancient in the energy of a chosen one, and nature can feel it instantly. Little children feel it too. They stop crying. They stare in wonder. They feel safe even if they can't explain why. Strangers' pets become soft and affectionate toward them. Even plants grow more beautifully under their care. Leaves seem greener. Flowers open more fully. And sometimes, the sun, the wind, and even the rain seem to shift along with their moods. It's not magic. It's resonance. Their energy is in tune with the universe. Chosen ones carry a peaceful vibration that's free of ego, pride, and lies. That kind of energy can't be faked, and nature always knows the real thing. They don't try to impress others. They don't seek attention. They move through the world gently, often quietly, but everything around them responds. They have been through deep pain, deep silence, deep transformation, and all of that suffering made them softer, not colder. It made their energy pure. That's why animals don't fear them. That's why children come near. That's why trees seem to lean toward them. Nature sees who they truly are, even when people don't. But even though they carry this light, life isn't always kind to them. In fact, chosen ones are often treated the worst. People lie about them. Friends betray them. They are mocked, abandoned, and misunderstood over and over. And yet, they do not fight back with hate. They do not scream or seek revenge. They pray. They stay still. They walk away in silence and trust that the truth will reveal itself. And it always does. Their enemies always fall, not by their hands, but by their own. Lies fall apart. Evil plans backfire. Darkness eats itself. That's not karma. That's divine justice. Because chosen ones walk with purpose. And when you fight someone walking in their divine purpose, you're not fighting just a person. You're fighting something heaven sent. And heaven never loses. The chosen don't need to prove anything. They don't chase revenge or beg to be heard. Their strength is in their silence. They know that God is fighting for them behind the scenes. Their stillness becomes their shield. Their peace becomes their weapon. Their truth always rises, slowly but fully, and those who try to destroy them end up destroying themselves. If your heart felt calm while reading this, if your soul whispered, "This is me," then you already know. You're not broken. You're not imagining things. You're not alone. You're chosen. That's why you feel deeply. That's why you don't fit in. That's why life has tested you so much. It was all preparing you to carry something greater. You were not made to follow the crowd. You were made to walk a different path. You carry light. You carry truth. And now it's your time to walk in it fully. You are not here by accident. You are not reading this by chance. This is your confirmation. This is your sign. If this message found you at the perfect time in your life, type 111 in the comments to confirm that you are in divine alignment. Let that number be your signal to heaven that you're ready to step into your light. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are chosen. And the world may not always recognize you, but heaven always has.